Hello, so in today's video we're going to be looking at exam style questions relating to the equation of a circle. So just before we start, I just want to remind you what the equation of a circle looks like when it's not at the origin. If you are unsure of this, there's another video you can go and listen to before you start this one. Basically we take x minus a all squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared, where AB is the center point at the center of the circle and r is the radius of the circle. So the first exam style question we've got is we're given sort of something messy like this and we're asked to find the center and the radius. Now the way we do this is we basically want to get it in the format that we had before. And once we have it in this format, we can find the center very easily because we've got A and B, and we can find the radius. So how do we do it? So we've got this messy thing and we want to make it look tidier. And what we do is use the thing called completing the square to do this. Again, if you're not sure about that, there's a video and slides on how to complete the square. You should watch. But you take, let's start by just looking at the x squared and minus 4x part. And you take that, and what we're going to do, instead of writing like that, we're going to write a bracket, all squared, with x, and then we put it with half of the x coefficient. So half of minus 4 gives me minus 2. Now if we imagine this with the two brackets, so this is x minus 2 squared, you can see we're going to get x squared, which we want, and then we're going to get minus 2x and another minus 2x, which will give me a minus 4x. So that's going to give you the x squared and the minus 4x that you want. But it's also going to generate a minus 2 squared. So minus 2 squared is going to give you 4. Now we look at this bit and we do the same thing. So we put it in a bracket which we're going to square, and it's going to be y, and then this time half the y coefficient, which is 8, so it's going to be half of 8 is 4, so y plus 4. And again, if you imagine squaring out that bracket, you can see you're going to get y times y, which is y squared, y times 4, which gives you 4y, and then 4 times y, which will give you, 4 times y, which is 4y, so in total you'll have 8y, but you're also going to get this 4 squared, so you're going to get an extra 4 squared, which is 16. So this bit here generates a plus 4 on top of everything we need, and this one generates a plus 16. So in total, we've got an extra 20 from here. And what do we want? We want 9. So what we have to do is make an adjustment to get us back down to 9. So if this is 20, if I take away my adjustment of minus 11, I get left with 9, and 9 was what we wanted. So once we've done this, we've actually now, once we just rearrange it like that, we have the equation that we want. And so we've got that the center is A, where the x-coordinate, which is A here, so that's just 2. And then B here. Now if we look, we've got to change in sign here. So I actually need minus 4. So when I put minus 4 in here, I get y minus minus 4, so that's plus 4, and that's what we need. So just be careful with your signs. And then the radius is going to be the square root of the number there. Okay, when you finish these questions, actually do write it out, because make it clear that you know exactly what you were trying to find. Now, before we do the next question, I just want to quickly revise a little bit of coordinate geometry that you did in C1 in an earlier module. And you need to know two things. You need to remember how to find the length of a line joining 2 points and the midpoint of a line. So first of all, the length of this line between A and B can be found by using Pythagoras. So we take the distance here squared plus the distance here squared will give you the square of the distance up there. So by square rooting that, you would get the length of the line between the 2 points. And writing it more mathematically, we get x2 minus x1. So the length here would be this point here minus that point there, because we don't want the bit there. we want to get rid of, scrub that bit out, so we only want this bit. And this length here would be y2 minus y1, because we want y2, but we don't want that bit which relates here to y1. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. And then when we find the midpoint, a way of thinking is it's averaging the points. So we add the two x points together and divide by 2, and we add the two y points together and divide by 2. Okay, so I just wanted to remind you of those before we started the next question. Okay, so this question says AB is a diameter of a circle where A is 0.35 and B is -1,1, and we want to find the equation of the circle. Now we've got a diameter. A diameter will go through the center of the circle, and it will go through it such that the middle of the diameter is the center of the circle. So we can find the center of the circle just by finding the midpoint of the diameter. We also know that the diameter is twice the radius. So if we can find the length of the radius and half it, we will find the length of the diameter and half it, we will find the radius. So from what we did before, the x-coordinate is just the to find the midpoint of the line. The x-coordinate is given by the average of the two x-coordinates. So that's 3 plus -1 over 2, which will give you 1. And then the y will be the average of 5 plus 1, which is 6, over 2, which is 3. So now we've got the center, our center of our circle. And then the length of the diameter, if you remember, we take the distance, the x2 minus x1 and square it, and the y2 minus y1 and square it. So 3 minus -1 will give me 4 squared, and 5 take away 1 will give me 4 squared. 4 squared plus 4 squared is 32, and then we need to square root it because we want the length of the line. We don't want the length of the line squared, and that's the same as 2 root 8, and then the radius is going to be half of it, so that's nice. So we can get rid of that 2, so the radius is root 8. And then when we put that into our equation, remember our A is the x-coordinate of the center, so that was 1, and our B is the y-coordinate of the center, which is 3, and our radius was root 8, so r squared would be 8. Okay, so hope that's helpful. You do have to remember some of your earlier coordinate geometry work for that sort of question. And just to point this out to you, you may need to know that the perpendicular bisector, so that's something which cuts a line in half at right angles, of a chord, and this is a chord, it's sort of a line through a circle, not necessarily not going through the center, passes through the center of a circle. So the perpendicular bisector, so half of your chord at right angles, passes through the center of a circle, and that's just sometimes something which might come up in a question. Okay, I hope that helps. Bye.